Supergirl number 25, written by Scott Lobdell, Michael Allen Elson, and Justin Jordan, art by Paulo Siqueira. This is part 3 of Krypton Returns, and in the last part, man, I don't know, a lot of stuff happened. That was over in Superboy. Superboy fought the Eradicator and kinda won. Superman fought his mom and said, hey, I'm gonna go get your dad. And then Supergirl fought some clones, and then it left off with, and now hell is here. So we pick up with the Oracle, who's basically just being narrated at saying, yes, the Oracle, time tsunamis, in case you weren't reading the other books. And then we see the Oracle actually has his own, Herald, I guess, his own Silver Surfer. He's got his own guy there. And he's like, boy, Oracle, I can't believe you're making those Kryptonians destroy their own planet. That's messed up, man, but I'm sure they'll do it. Otherwise, the universe is doomed, and one of them will have to make the ultimate sacrifice. So we go to Supergirl fighting against Hell, and Hell's basically like, I trusted you, Supergirl, and you betrayed me. And she's just like, dude, you were trying to destroy Earth and Krypton, and I loved you, but then you sprung that on me, so nah, we ain't cool no more. And she looks over at one of the clones that she beat up earlier, and he's just standing there watching, and Hell's like, yes, I can mind control all of the clones. That's a thing I can do, and I'm making him just sit there and not get involved. And Supergirl's like, okay, fair enough. And she realizes she has almost no powers under this red sun, so she just punches Hell in the nose. He starts spewing out blood, and she's like, all right, time to leave. And so she runs across the field, picks up one of the clones like battle axes, and says, all right, Hell, I am done with you. So then we cut back to Superman's plot, and he is looking over Lara and Jor-El. Lara is just now telling Jor-El that he is going to be a father, and Superman's able to watch this. And we see that this is the exact moment that was in Superman number 0, which... okay, and they say, oh man, I can't believe it. I can only imagine how conflicted Jor-El must feel, knowing his world will die, but also having a son. And then he's like, oh wait, no, I'm in kind of the same situation where I'm meeting my parents, but I have to make the world die, so oops. And then all of a sudden his suit starts turning back to regular colors, because it was like an off blue before this. And I guarantee you this is just because, like, a colorist messed. Like, they didn't have a good reason in Superman number 0 to get him into this other suit, so they just made up this reason, and now it's like, now that we took care of that, changing it back. And then off-screen voice says, hey, you're a smart boy, I'm sure you'll figure it out. And Superman seems surprised at who it is. But enough about him. We cut back to Superboy and young Kara, who Kara's like, hey, so... thanks for saving me from the monster. How can I repay you? And he's like, I mean, we're both in the House of L. We're like cousins. Don't worry about it. And he's thinking like, man, it's really nice that she doesn't hate me. That's like super cool. And all of a sudden the time portal opens up and he's like, oh, well, I guess I did my part. All right, I'm out. Good luck with stuff. Bye. And as he's about to step through it, he all of a sudden gets blasted by the Eradicator again, who comes up and he's like, hey, I'm the Eradicator. And as I said before, I am here to eradicate. And he starts coming after Supergirl. Connell jumps in the way and takes out Eradicator as best he can, but then he gets a shard of metal in his back. So he's like, ow, okay, that hurts. And he TKs it out and then throws it as hard as he can at the Eradicator. It gets lodged into his neck, and Eradicator's like, you can't kill the embodiment of entropy, kid. And he's like, all right, fair enough. So then he just kicks Eradicator into the time portal, which then has him come out in Smallville. And Superboy makes the point of like, I don't know where that sent him, but that's something the Oracle can sort out. That's not on me anymore. So he goes and he hugs Kara and says, hey, I'm happy I could save you and whatnot. But then, you know, a voice from behind says, oh, how charming. And then it's Hell, and he starts attacking Superboy and saying like, oh, it was so easy to give your love to this guy, this abomination. And she's like, what are you talking? How do you know my name? But then we also see Hell is talking to Supergirl in the later timeline, or is it earlier? I gotta be earlier. And saying like, "Oh, you fools! As if centuries mean anything to me. I'll kill you both at once." So it's the same brain for Hell across both of these bodies in two different timelines, and he's trying to fight both Superboy and Supergirl at the same time. And then all of a sudden, his brain starts, freaking out because the timelines are converging. So Supergirl like slices his chest in one timeline and Superboy sees it in the other and just like, wait a minute, that's weird. What's going on? And he manages to piece it together based off of things he's saying out loud that he's in two timelines at once. And he's like, oh, cool. You must be fighting Supergirl or something. So if we can both take you on together, we might have a chance. So he sends young Kara away, says, get out of here. You ain't going to want to be here for this. And he uses all the TK energy he can pull out of the city and starts lunging at Hell, just as Hell is lunging after Supergirl and him at the same time. And then all of a sudden in Supergirl's timeline, the clone that Hell was controlling attacks Hell, along with all the other clones that were standing nearby. And they start taking him down. And Supergirl's like, oh, I guess because I took out their leader, they're treating me as their new leader. Or something, I guess. So at that point, Hell's like, hey, guys, we literally are fighting for the same thing here. You should be on my side. And the clones are like, no, we all die before you die. And he's like, all right, can do. So he lets out this huge blast of energy, kills a couple of clones, and then starts going to attack them. And Supergirl says, all right, Hell, you want to do this for Krypton? And she leaps in with a battle axe. To be continued, Superman number 25. All right. I can appreciate the idea that finally we're getting to this point where the whole thing of it is that timey-wimey nonsense where Hell is stretched across these three multiple timelines all simultaneously, and even though he has godlike powers, this is the way that they're going to be able to take him on, is because he's stretched himself too thin here and he's fighting on three fronts. Okay. Fine. I'm happy that we're making forward progression, because that's really the biggest problem I've had with this event up till this issue, is that there has been zero forward progression. And even then, when I look at it through that perspective, like, I can see us going into Superman 25 and them just giving us a page of like, and there was a time tsunami and now Superman, Supergirl, and Superboy are all fighting Hell. Just whatever. Like, just a quick recap page that would make these previous three issues essentially non-reads. So I'm still not happy with the event, but I'm happy that at least we're doing something. It's not just padding for 3 issues and then no significant change is going to happen. I mean, there might still be no significant change, but it does feel as though we're actually making progress towards something now. So I'm going to say this one is just, I don't know. The Eradicator stuff was stupid. Supergirl didn't make any forward progression, and honestly, it doesn't feel like Superman did either. And that stupid Superman Zero tieback, I can't give this any higher than a 6. It's not that it's the worst that this has been over the event, but it's just so non-impressive, even for its most impressive issue so far. So yeah, 6 for this. Please stop.